Hello, my name is Suzanne Longstreet, and I'm a mindset and success coach. I'm also the CEO and founder of Pinkpreneurs. I'm here today with somebody who has become near and dear to my heart. We talk regularly. Her name is Julie Reisler. And Julie, tell us about you and how you're here in the world in service.
Yes. Well, I know we don't have all day. Otherwise, this could be a very long answer. But I will just start by saying I call myself a life designer. And really, what that means is I help people to design their most connected and most loving lives. I'm an intuitive coach. I have a podcast. I'm gratefully a bestselling author, and I'm a speaker and do a lot with mindfulness and just really, yay, get a PhD in you. And for me, I've gone through a lot of dips, a lot of challenges myself, especially with eating issues, compulsive eating, food addiction. I always say, like any breakdown you can imagine, I've kind of gone through and really learned the most important thing, and that's why I wrote that book, is this self-awareness, self-discovery, and learning to really truly love and honor who we are, and just to create that self-compassion. And so the way that's been showing up recently, I mean, I just feel like with what the times that we're in right now, um, coming from heart, coming from that place of giving and service, of love, of compassion, non-judgment is like essential. We need connection at the deepest level. So, creating a whole new community. I've been doing daily heart connection sessions with meditations, just trying to be available really for anybody and for myself. It's definitely been a time of a lot of unsteadiness. And so coming back to the practices that I've been doing for the last 18 years that have changed my life, just keeping that routine and adding a few, honestly, so that I can be grounded. I
My
can be,
goodness, you are
yeah,
doing a lot.
yeah, it's a
So
lot.
I do want to play. It's showing up backwards on my video, so it might be backwards for you. It is "Get a PhD in You" by Julie Reisler, and on the back, I was reading it. It said, "Life designer and multi-time TEDx speaker Julie Reisler shares the extensive personal growth and wisdom." And there's a little note here written by Hal Elrod, and for anybody who knows, he's the author of Morning Miracle. So highly recommend it. And the nice thing I like about this book is that there's pictures
It's
and
pretty.
there's journal prompts. It's a lovely, pretty read as well as a provocative read, and it's great for people like me who you wouldn't know it to look at you, that Julie, that you've struggled with your weight at some point in your past because you've clearly overcome it. And but it's really about, there's some really great tips in here for connecting with your self-worth
Yeah.
so that you can choose to eat better. And how did you call it with me? We were chatting last week.
Yeah. A
This is
self-love
your,
plan, nourishment.
yes,
Nourishment. Yeah.
yeah, and housing your soul. This is your sacred temple, so take care of it. We only get one. And your podcast is called?
My podcast is called The Youest You. And, my belief is that we all are born with this treasure box of inner wisdom, your intuition, your heart wisdom. And when you start to listen and tune in and trust it, that unlocks you to your higher self, your Youest You. And I do believe as we tune into that, that can change the world when we're living from heart versus just from a place of, ego and head, which we all can do. There is a way to really transform that. And it's changed my life to shift into that space of living from, heart wisdom and inner guidance.
I love that.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a couple of times we are living in an interesting change right now. I've heard that word interesting over and over today. Interesting,
Yeah.
interesting,
Interesting.
interesting.
Yeah. It's like, we're trying to not use the word, like, there's a freaking crisis.
There's a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's a lot of P words. There's a lot of panic and terror and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So
Yeah.
let's talk about positive focus. What are you doing to maintain positive focus in this time?
Yeah, I love that question. Beautiful, Suzanne. I love
Thank
that
you.
question. It is a choice, and it is a daily choice. This is where, if you have not been doing these practices before, don't let that stop you. But I will say the gift of, really starting to love and honor the sacred temple you live in, your body, and your mind and your soul in a way that, I've made it a daily habit so that I'm continuing to do that. And I can share the ways I'm doing that. And I've added more things because I am also a pretty sensitive, intuitive empath, meaning I feel a lot of energy. I feel what's going on. So this morning I woke up and I felt like a lot of sadness. My body was aching. I felt a lot of sadness. So for me, some of the basics, I've been upping my water. I've been adding a ton of lemon and lime. Little demo, wasn't going to do that, but it's very, very healing. And it also helps to keep your body in an alkaline state, which actually helps with not being too acidic, which can affect stress. So really, how do I nourish myself? Try and eat a lot of live foods, eat the rainbow, lots of fruits and vegetables, things that can boost my immunity, a lot of zinc, a lot of water, but then also movement. So getting out in nature, just a lot of walking, taking my shoes off, grounding in the earth so I can be connected to Mother Earth. There's there's scientific research on the positive impacts of literally getting your feet on the earth. It's amazing. And getting into nature. It's called forest bathing. So I've been doing that. I do Reiki on myself every morning. And if you don't know Reiki, all you have to do is put your hand to your heart, breathe a little slower, in for 5, out for 5. Think about breathing in your heart. You will do what's called heart coherence, and that can really lower your stress response. And then, for me, there's like a daily meditation and then journaling. And I like to look at, how am I growing through this? What am I grateful for? I just found out yesterday, my husband, who works with a lot of restaurants, it's really taken a huge hit, and they slashed his salary. It's upsetting, but we're like, okay, that's okay. I've got to stay in a place of self-care so that I can be there for myself, for him, but also my community. And the other thing is baths. I've been taking a bath every night with a lot of lavender and Epsom salt. This is, by the way, I want to share, I didn't always live like this. Okay. Like I used to struggle big time with using food. And I mean like boxes and bags and, cartons in the fridge. And I'd be in your fridge, Suzanne. I mean, I'm serious. I would steal your cookies when you weren't looking. I mean, it's in my book. I've written about it. I have a documentary on it. Like I know the world of using food or using anything to not be in the present moment. It's not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just what happens is then you have two issues. You have what you're feeling, and then you've got the heaviness of just the heaviness, the weight of it, but the weight of feeling like, yeah, I'm not as connected. So it's been a long journey, and it's not been perfect, and that's cool.
Yeah.
It's about loving. It's about being as loving as I can. That is my question. How can I be more loving to myself? Because the more I can do that, the more I can do that for others.
I love that. I'm writing that down. How can I be more loving? I think that to myself. And I want to go back to this whole self-care thing. There's so much debate and with this, Julie, because a lot of women
Yes.
believe that if they self-care, then they're being selfish. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I wrote an article on this actually, and I can link it if you want. I wrote it in the Deepak Chopra Center, and it's all about this really reframing selfish to self-full. It's really a fallacy. And look, I'm not saying you just take care of yourself all day and like abandon everyone and your kids around you. I mean, I have 2 children, stepdaughter, I have a business, there's a lot to take care of. However, just think about it. If you had a car and you were running around on, beyond the empty, like think about when you're at fumes. Okay, I've done that physically. Let me tell you what, I ended up with a thyroid disease. I ended up with fatigue in my adrenals, and I ended up in the hospital. It's a true story. Because I was running myself around ragged and taking care of everybody else and people pleasing and making sure that everybody else's needs were getting met. And I really abandoned ship for myself. And so I'm telling you, I've learned, I'm like, that does not work. You're listening, just FYI, it don't work not to take care of yourself. And it's hard to give. It's hard to give if you're not fueling yourself. And I mean fuel by what you're saying, your thoughts, your beliefs, the foods, the nourishment you're getting, the kind of nourishment. I see it all as loving nourishment. How are you moving? How are you speaking to yourself? How are you being? All of that matters. Your body is listening at all times.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
So I think you've answered our next question, my next questions, which is how are you staying energized and engaged? And you told us about how you're energizing yourself, and I love that, all the self-care and the lavender and Epsom salts and baths. And what about engaging? So you're a business owner, you're still looking to engage with people. How are you doing that now in this time?
Well, it's funny when you asked that. The first thing that came to mind was actually ways that I'm not engaging, and that would be like I don't believe in diets of any kind except for a media diet. I follow a strict media diet, meaning I almost don't watch the news or TV. To be honest, it's very toxic for me. I get my news, I read it without pictures. It's so that is. I was thinking of engage, like it's a way that I stay present is by not engaging over there. Um, the ways that I'm engaging with my community, right away, I heard this, I heard it. I heard this sort of inner call that was like, Julie, you need, this is your time now to get in action and help people. And so I started a 2 week, it's going to be a 3 week daily, I'm calling it kind of a good vibes immunity boost. And it's a heart connection and meditation. Had a lot of wonderful people join that. I've been doing a lot of free meditations. And then, I just realized like I'm ready to offer something even more because we don't know how long this is going to go. And community is crucial. So I am starting my Sacred Collective, the School of Sacredology, in April. And Sacredology is all about this exploration of really of the sacred. Scared and sacred are the same letters. They have the same letters. And
Mhm.
so just teaching, how do you go from fear to faith? How do you tune into this like brilliant inner wisdom so you can stay grounded in a time of shakiness? So I'm creating that as well and just pivoting and being available. A lot of Zoom calls, my friend, like tons of Zoom. Like thank God for Zoom.
Thank God for Zoom.
I love Zoom.
I do too.
I love Zoom. I feel like that should be a t-shirt.
I've been using
Heart
Zoom
Zoom.
for, Zoom since 2011. It's,
Wow. I think
yeah,
2012. Yeah,
yeah.
it's been a like BF for a long time. Now it's like a BFF.
Yes, and more people are getting Zoom accounts. So they're one organization that's doing well in this time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you have any other tips or anything that you want to share with us that will help people in this time?
Yeah. I mean, I have a lot, so I'll try to keep it kind of succinct.
That's okay.
I think when I think of it, there's a couple things. You want to mind your mind. You want to mind your body, your sacred temple, and you want to mind I guess your spiritual connection. And so the ways I would say to do that, mind your mind, like really, who are you surrounding yourself with? Making sure, you're connecting with people that can, I'm not saying to be Pollyanna, but can help to really look at what the gifts are that can hold a positive space that are high vibrational, that are not going to bring you down. It's really important. Immunity goes down when stress goes up. So get those like amazing people in your life. And if there are people that are not in that, it's okay to not connect with them right now. It's really okay. So minding your mind what you watch, what you consume in terms of media and information. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. Don't watch it. Don't read it. Really, like you can get your information elsewhere. Minding your body, like honoring that this is the house that keeps us going. So get as much fresh, I call it live, Mother Earth foods as you can.
Mhm.
Things that are from trees and the ground. It really it ups vitality and energy. Get out in nature. Notice what the heck is going on right now. With everything is blooming, and Mother Nature does not seem to have a clue that we're in a crisis. So I get a lot of energy from that. And then, minding your connection to something greater than yourself, whether you call it God or goddess or spirit or higher self or higher power or just something other than you. I feel like part of what we're being called to do is to really to get that we're way more than we realize. And so tuning into your heart, holding your heart, breathing through your heart, and just in whatever way that works for you, whether it's meditation, prayer, all of it, just finding a way to connect to that level. That has been probably one of the most important parts for me, is knowing and believing, in this there's divine timing, and there are gifts to come out of this. And there's something about the fact of us, staying at home and being asked to have more presence and more intention and attention in the moment. So, I'm learning along with you. It's for a fire sign on the go, this has been a lesson, but it's a good lesson. It's a good one.
There is, and I love that you're saying that, and it's particularly Earth. The Earth is healing right now because we're seeing a lot of the pollution go down, and
Yeah.
I heard about they're able to see the clear water of the canals in Venice.
Yes.
So the dolphins and the fish are returning. So there's lots of, I don't know if that's fact. I just heard somebody say that.
I have too, so it must be fact.
It must be true.
Right. It
was on Facebook. It must be true.
It was on the internet. So,
So this has been really helpful, and thank you. Julie, I could just, I could talk to you for days.
So fun.
Thank you. I really appreciate your time and sharing your positive wisdom and light with all of us. So thank you.
Well, thank you. I love you and who you are and what you're doing. And I think, we need this kind of support right now. And, to also see that it's not a lack of strength. There's not weakness to reach out. It's actually, there's a strength in getting that help and support and community and coming together. And frankly, I actually think that's one of the Mother Earth's call to action, is for us to be more to commune and connect more and collaborate and be more of a oneness, human family.
I love that. And ask for and be open to receive help.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's so many gifts people want to give, and there's so many people who don't want to take because there must be reasons, but they don't want to take, and what they're doing is they're just shutting it down. So be open to receive, be open to give, certainly, and be open to receive. And that goes back to what I think is self-care.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'll post all of your links in with this. Thank you so much. This was a joy, and thank you. I love you too. Have a great day. Bye.